Hi, this is Professor Michael Smith from Emporia State University. I'm here with Lillian Lingenfelter, a junior social sciences education major from Spring Hill, Kansas, and Cody Filbert, a freshman undecided major from Wamego, Kansas, and we're going to teach you how to caucus here in Kansas on Saturday, March 5th. You know, Kansas may not be a competitive state in the general elections for president in November most years, but the caucuses are another matter entirely. The caucuses are coming right up, and it doesn't look like either party is going to have settled on a nominee before Kansans vote on March 5th. So this is your big chance to cast a vote that will make a difference in the presidential elections this year. And caucusing is not hard. There are just a few basics you need to learn, and the procedures are different for Democrats and Republicans. One thing to note is that the requirements are different. With the Republicans, you need to be registered to vote in Kansas by February 4th, 2016 in order to vote in the Republican caucuses this year. But with the Democrats, you can register to vote right there at the caucus, and you can also change your registration to Democratic right there at the caucus. Caucusing can actually be a lot of fun, and it's a great way to see democracy in action. Now I'm going to let Lillian and Cody tell you a little bit more about what to expect on Saturday, March 5th, in both parties' caucuses.
If you're going to the Republican caucus, there's a few things that you should know. The Republicans have their caucus looking something like the party primaries from New Hampshire and other states. So how it will work is you'll arrive, you'll have a paper ballot, and you just mark it in secret, and then you'll leave. They have an uncommitted option on the ballot for the undecided voters. The GOP invites voters to vote in any county they choose. So if you're in Emporia but you're registered to vote in Johnson County, you can still caucus in Emporia. There's also a provisional ballot for those not appearing on the voter rolls. You have to be registered to vote in Kansas as a Republican by February 4th to participate in the Republican caucus. After the caucus, the Republican leaders will assign delegates based on the results using a proportional representation formula. Those wishing to be convention delegates may self-nominate on the Republican Party's website, and the party leaders will make a final call on who goes to the Republican National Convention in Cleveland this summer. The polls are open from 10 to 2 on March 5th, and you must be in line by 2 to vote. If you have any other questions, there is a URL linked in the description box, or you can call 785-234-3456.
Kansas Democrats use a more traditional caucus approach, grouping the caucus goers according to which candidate they are supporting, with uncommitted being one of the options, then eliminating any candidates under the 15% threshold. Those eliminated, participants may regroup themselves with one of the remaining candidates supported. After this, each attendee's name is recorded along with each candidate they are supporting. Finally, delegates are selected by the caucus goers themselves. Those chosen attend conventions in their congressional districts, some advance to a state convention, and finalists go to the Democrat National Convention in Philadelphia this summer. Democrats also allocate delegates using a proportional representation formula. Polls open at 1 p.m. March 5th must be in line by 3 p.m. to participate. You can also get more information at the URL below or call at 785-234-0425.
A few weeks ago, a group of us went to Iowa to see the first caucus for this presidential election, and aside from Professor Smith, none of us had been to a caucus before, but it was a surprisingly easy process to understand. It was really interesting. It was really cool to see how democracy was working in that way. Caucusing is definitely not something to be scared of or something to worry about. It's really simple, especially if you already know which candidate you're going to support. And it's a really cool way to see how your vote actually matters, because a lot of times people, when they vote in like the final elections in November, think that their vote doesn't matter, but in caucusing, it especially does make a difference. Where one person supports a candidate can really change how many delegates that candidate gets, and who will be our final candidates in November.